everybody, and welcome to another Cricut craft tutorial. Today's tutorial, we're going to be doing another craft from my mystery box. And never fear, if you missed out on my mystery box, let me know down below if you want me to do more mystery boxes. They are so fun for me, and I hope you guys enjoy them as well. But if you missed out this time, don't worry. I'll link everything I used down in the video description below. That way you can participate as well. Make sure that you do subscribe to my channel, that way you don't miss out on any of the fun crafty content that we have here on YouTube. And if you go to my website, CorinneBlackstone.com, you can simply sign up for my newsletter and enjoy all the fun things that I send over there. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to use the round award blank that we got in our mystery box. This is such a fun item, and I really thought this would be really versatile for everybody because you can use these as keychains, awards, they make really fun luggage tags, and I just really think these are so fun and you can do a lot with them. I'm going to show you how to put glitter on one side using UV resin, and we're going to vinyl the other side, and this is a little happy birthday medal. I just added some simple ribbon that I got from Walmart, and now I can wear it. It's really, really fun, and this is just a really cool craft that I think everybody can really enjoy, and it's super easy to do. You really don't need a lot of extra supplies, and even if you don't have UV resin or glitter, you can still do this by just adding vinyl to one side and vinyl to the other. So let's get started. The first thing that we'll need to do is to download the SVG for this acrylic blank. So what you'll do is go to blanks and just hover over that and then go to acrylics. Down here it says click here to access our download page. Go ahead and click that. And we are going to use the circle blank. It is the award circle blank. So what we're going to do is right down here, it's all alphabetical order. See where it says Circle Award 2.5? We need the one that was purchased after 10/1/2019. They changed suppliers, so the SVGs are a little bit different based on when they were purchased. So we're going to go ahead and select this one. It's going to ask us where we want to save it, and I have an acrylic blank folder that I save all my acrylic blanks into. Go ahead and click Save. Now we'll go over to Cricut Design Space. Over in Cricut Design Space, we need to upload the SVG. So what we're going to do is click Upload, Upload Image, and then Browse. We're going to go into our Cricut folder and find the acrylic blank that we needed. This was the Circle Award, which is right here. Go ahead and select that, and here is our SVG. Click Save, and it will take you back over to your recently uploaded images. What you want to do now is click the image, and down in the lower right-hand corner, click Insert Image. Now, it's really important that we don't resize this image. This is going to be the right size for our acrylic blank. So you don't want to resize it, but if you want to see it larger, what you can do is use this little zoom in down here right at the bottom. It's really hard to see, but it is down there, and we can just click that to make this a little bit bigger and easier to see. We can zoom in super, super close. So this is at 300%. That's really big. I think that's perfect so that we can see this. Now, what I love about these is the possibilities truly are endless as to what you can do with them. They're such a great blank canvas, and they can be used for a lot of things. The wider hole up here does allow for the ribbon to make it like an award, like a medal, so that's really fun. You can use them as keychains. I've seen them used for luggage tags. They work great for Christmas ornaments, so there's a lot that you can do with these. First thing I want to do is change my tag color because it's really hard to see the fonts over this black. So I'm just going to change it to white. It doesn't really matter what color we make it. It just makes it easier to see our fonts. Now I'm going to make a medal for a birthday girl. So what I'm going to do is use the word birthday, and I'm using Magnolia Sky. So if you guys want to know that font, I will link a couple places to get that down below. But you can get it for free on defont.com, but that does not contain the commercial use license, but I will link this font below. So I want to curve the word so that it goes around the circle a little bit. I just want to curve it a bit. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to letter space this a little bit, and I'm going to just do a bit right now. I'm going to come back and fix it later. But what I'm going to do is go ahead and curve this a smidge right now. And I'm just going to size it down so that it fits within our tag. And I want to make sure that this looks pretty even. And you can see how it kind of respaced out my letters. That's okay. We can use the letter spacing again. And we will need to ungroup this, but we have to curve it first and ungroup it later, which I know sounds kind of crazy, but that's just how Design Space works. And you can see like my B is too close to my I, the R isn't touching the T. So it's a little bit of a pain when you do curve your fonts, but it is something you'll have to kind of learn to work with and work around. I think that looks pretty good as far as where the curve is. So now what I want to do is I'm going to ungroup my font. And I just used the ungroup button up here at the top of your layers tab, because we need to move a few of these letters around. I want to move the B over. It's way too close to the I. The R isn't lined up real great with the T. So you want to just sort of move letters just a little bit, and your curve will still look fine once you do this, but you do need to move them a little bit around just to make sure that they fit and they look nice together. So what I'm doing is just individually moving each letter, and for some reason, Design Space has been a little bit funky today about where it's selecting my letters, so it's not always selecting exactly where I think it should. So what I'm going to do now is just look, see if I like the way that looks. I think it looks fine. So I'm going to go ahead and select every letter by holding Control on my keyboard and clicking each letter over here in the Layers tab. And I want to weld those. What weld does is it removes any of the cut lines between the letters, so it just makes it a lot easier to use. Now that we have done that word, we're going to have to do the word girl next. And I'm going to do that in the same font, and then I want to curve it so that it goes this way. So what I need to do again is go ahead and curve it a little bit. And I think with this one, I'll go ahead and letter space this one down a little bit as well. You don't always have to do this, but sometimes it's a little bit easier when you go to curve things. Now for this one, we're going to move the curve to the left so that it curves up. Because this is such a small word with such few letters, it is going to curve really, really funky. But I do find that giving it the curve before I move any of the letters really makes a difference with how it looks once we have it sized and everything the way we want it. So now that I've got it curved to where I want it, I need to do the same thing. I need to ungroup it and move my letters so that they are touching and they look like a script font should. Script fonts should always touch and look like they're handwritten. That is how they are intended to be used. Now again, the word is much smaller than birthday, so we're going to go ahead and just leave it. It's a little bit small, but that's okay. Click. You're going to do the same thing where you're going to go over to the Layers tab, click all the 4 letters, and you want to weld those. Because again, that removes any of the cut lines. Now, just for my own sanity, what I do is I select both of the words over in Layers tab by holding Control, and I want to align them, and I want to just center them horizontally so that they're nice and neat. So go ahead and center horizontally. Now, obviously, we can do so much more with this, and we will. You can do lots of things to add to this. You can add a name, you can do images, whatever you want to do to this is really, really fun. So let's just go into Design Space. I just looked up the word birthday, and I wanted to see if I could find any fun little designs. And I thought this balloon was really cute. I liked the hats. So what I do is I'll go in and select a couple different designs that I like. And from there, I can decide what I want. So I'm going to scroll through and see if there's any other fun shapes or designs. I kind of like that balloon. It's cute. So you can kind of go through and see if there's anything that you really like. And again, you can make this super personal. You can make it so it's reusable for each birthday. If you have a lot, if you have children, you want to use it every year. You don't have to necessarily make it so specific to each year unless you wanted to keep it as a keepsake, which is a really fun idea too. So there's lots that you can do with these. You can make these like fun medals for if you're going to have like at-home Olympics are really fun. So there's a lot that you can do. But I think we'll stick with those 2 designs. I don't really see anything else. So we'll go ahead and click Insert Images. Actually, there's 3. So I selected these 3 and you can see they're huge and like way like spaced out. So because we're so zoomed in. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom out a little bit. And let's move these over. And I'm going to select a couple of these and just see which one I like. I really like this balloon. I think this balloon is super cute. And I feel like I could somehow make it look like it's coming off the L, which is fun. Like, I think that looks really, really fun, even though it kind of covers the eye. I just think that could be a fun way to tie them all together. I think that is cute. And if you wanted to make it super personal, you could put the age or whatever you wanted, or the kid's name in here. So there's a lot that we can do. The party hats are fun. Size those down a little bit. I don't like those, so we'll go ahead and get rid of those. Once I've decided I don't like it, I get rid of it. Or you have this fun filled in balloon, which could be fun. Again, you could kind of tie it to maybe the dot in the eye would be fun. And you can make everything different colors. So there's a lot we can do. But I don't like that one as much as I like this outline. I like the outline the best. So we'll go ahead and do the outline. Now again, you could add stars or hearts or whatever. But remember, we're going to put glitter on the back of this. So there's a lot of fun things that we're going to do. Now what I need to do is I'm going to change the colors because I don't want everything to cut in the same color. I want birthday and girl to be the same color, but I'd like to make the balloon a different color. We're going to use the colors that we got in our mystery box for this. So I think I want the balloon to be in like that light tealy color, and then I want birthday and girl to be in purple. I just think that would look really, really cute. I think that is super fun. Yes, that works for me. What do you guys think? Do you like it? Now, we'll put the balloon down first, so this little tail will be behind the L, so it won't look so noticeable. So now what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and attach the birthday and girl together out. It will keep those spaced correctly, and that way it's a little bit easier to use. Now, we don't need to keep our tag here because we're not going to cut that out. We're going to put glitter on the back of this and then the vinyl on the front. We're using some UV resin for the glitter. So what you can do is just hide it using this little eyeball. It makes it a little bit easier when you go to cut these out to just hide it, because you can save these and use them over and over again. That way you're not deleting it. And in case you need to make any changes later, you don't have to reinsert it into here. So what I'm going to do now is click Make It. Now, you can see that these are really, really small details, but that's why I love the StarCraft HD. It cuts really small things really, really nicely, and it's so easy to work with. That's why it's one of my favorite products. We're going to cut this just on the regular vinyl setting. You don't need to do anything special with it. Just cut on regular vinyl. Once it loads your materials, you'll find the vinyl setting right here. If for some reason you don't have your vinyl setting, you can just go to browse all materials and search the word vinyl. And you'll see that you get a ton of options. They're all alphabetical order, so just go down to the bottom and find vinyl and click done. I'll take you over to the machine and I'll show you guys how to load the mat and how to cut this out. The first thing that we need to do is to load our vinyl onto our mat. Now I'm using the blue cardstock mat, but this one is still really sticky. So if you have a stickier blue cardstock mat, you can absolutely use vinyl on it. And I'm going to go ahead and start with this Tiffany blue. We're going to go ahead and lay this down. Once you've got your vinyl on your mat, I'll pull my machine in so you guys can see it better. You want to make sure your mat goes under the little white tabs, and you want to give a little pressure in the back of your mat when you're loading. So just push it a little bit from the back. That way when it loads, it's going to pull it all the way in. Now we can just go ahead and hit the go button, and I'll let you guys watch this cut. Once it's done cutting, you can hit the unload button, and you want to unload your mat. I always flip my mat upside down and pull the vinyl off this way, basically just rolling it off my mat. That way it doesn't bend or anything. And then we will do the purple next. And again, this is the matte StarCraft HD. This is one of my favorite products. I love working with it, and it weaves and cuts so nicely. So again, we'll slide it under those tabs, give a little pressure from the back, and load. I'll let you guys watch this one cut. Because these are such small detailed pieces, we are going to do some reverse weeding on these. So all I'm going to do is take a piece of a transfer tape, and I'm going to lay these down onto my transfer tape before I even weed anything off. Simple as that. Then we'll take our squeegee, and what we're going to do is burnish these down from the back. And what I want to do now is go ahead, and I'm actually going to trim off some of this transfer tape. There's a lot here. I save a lot of my scraps, and I just stick them to the side of my desk. It's a great way to keep your scraps, and you can reuse the transfer tape over and over. Before we apply any vinyl to this, we are going to put the UV resin and the glitter on the other side. So what we need to do first is pull off the protective coating. I just use my pin pen to get it started, and then you can just peel the rest of it off. Now I'm doing this on the base of my lamp, so it's a little bit easier to do. My lamp really likes to be on the base to work, so that's something to keep in mind when purchasing a lamp. So what we're going to do, I'm going to slide this out of the way so you guys can see. So what I'm going to do is take this UV resin. I got this off of Amazon, and I'm just going to squeeze some into this medicine cup. Now, this is going to take a second because my UV resin is pretty empty, so it may take me a minute to get some UV resin out. But I don't put a ton in, just because you don't need a lot to cover these. And my UV resin does tend to get a little bit hard to squeeze, just because, again, it's cold in my house. So UV resin doesn't really like to be very cold. And when it gets cold, it's a little harder to work with. It just gets a little thicker. So that should be plenty to cover our blank. So I'm going to use the StarCraft Tan Lines. This is a really cool gold color to cover the back of this. This is brand new, have yet to use tan lines. Really love this color though, so I'm excited to use it. I'm gonna go ahead and stick this just off to the side. And then all I'm gonna do is just a little bit of glitter. You don't need a ton, just a little bit will do. And I'll usually let mine settle in there for a little bit. I'll let it sink before I go and stir it at all. Once you've got your glitter in, go ahead and give it a little stir. Now this is going to thicken up your UV resin, so keep that in mind. And it doesn't take a ton of glitter to really get good coverage. So we'll just go ahead and glitter that. We'll just stir it up. You want to make sure you scrape the sides and get as much of this glitter mixed in as you can. Looks pretty good. Yeah, that looks pretty well mixed in there. Now what I'm going to do is bring my blank back over. And again, make sure you're using the side that you've taken the protective coating off. I leave the protective coating on the other side until I'm ready to apply my vinyl. And then all I'm going to do is just pour the glitter and UV resin mix. And I don't pour all of it. I leave a little bit in the jar onto my blank. And typically I do this either with a popsicle stick or a silicone brush. I also have a little silicone brush that I use for this. But we'll just do the popsicle stick for now since it's already dirty. And we're just going to slide our UV resin mix around on our blank, getting all the way to the edges. Once your blank is covered, you're going to bring your lamp over, and like I said, mine prefers to be on the little base when using it. So what you're going to do is go ahead and let this cure for about 120 seconds. It is almost done, so once it's done with the curing portion, it will do the countdown and it should turn off, and then we'll go ahead and pop this off, and your UV resin should be cured. I do always recommend just checking it. You might need to let it sit a little bit longer, but it shouldn't feel tacky to the touch. Now it is still warm, so it may feel a little bit tacky. So what I'm going to do is let this sit off to the side for just a little bit. Now that we've let that cure, I flipped it over so that we have the other side available to us. We're going to peel off the backing from this side now. Like I said, I like to leave the backing on both this other side as I put the UV resin on, just in case any UV resin leaches over to this side. Look at how cool. That is so fun, so sparkly. So now what we'll do is apply our vinyl. And like I said, we did these reverse weeded. This was not the easiest thing to do because these lines are so thin. Can you guys see like how thin? They're so thin you can't even really see them on the transfer tape. So now what I'm gonna do is go ahead and line this up where I want it on my metal, on my little acrylic blank. And I'm gonna use my squeegee, and I'm just going to press this on to this acrylic blank. And you wanna make sure that you're paying really close attention to any of those really thin lines. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking a little corner and just really pressing down on all the letters. Now again, because some of the lines were so thin, they didn't all cut perfectly, and some of them did rip, but that's okay. It still looks really nice. So now what I'm gonna do is take my transfer tape off, and I'm gonna do this very slowly, and I'm just gonna go at a sharp angle. And you can see that I'm folding my transfer tape flat and then pulling it back, keeping it at that nice flat angle. Again, I wanna make sure that everything stays down. And what I love is that our acrylic blank is super shiny, and I used the matte vinyl for this, so I think it really gives a good contrast between the two. Now for our little balloon, this was really tough to weed. It was not the easiest, and I actually don't mind if it goes over the letters a little bit. I actually think it looks really cute like that. And then I just have one spot on this balloon that I couldn't get to weed on the transfer tape, so I wanted to try to weed it off on the acrylic blank. If it doesn't come off, nobody's going to notice, so it's totally okay. It's not the end of the world, but I would like to try to get it off. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do now is pull this back real gentle, and I'm just gonna try to see if I can get this little spot right in between the little balloon string here to come off without scratching the blank. That's going to be the key here, is not to scratch the acrylic blank. Look at that. That came off beautifully. So sometimes if you're struggling a little bit to get any of your like vinyl pieces off, you can try to weed them on your actual blank. But there's how that looks. So cute. So there's one side. Here's the glitter gold side. I think this came out really fun. I'm going to add a little ribbon to it so that it can be worn, and then I'll show you guys how it looks. I hope you guys had so much fun learning how to make this from the mystery box. Again, don't feel like you have to do exactly what I did. Be super creative and have fun with it. But I really liked using the UV resin and glitter for this. It just adds that little touch of sparkle. If you make this or anything else with the stuff from my mystery box, make sure you tag me, whether it's on Facebook. If you're on Instagram, it's at Corinne_Blackstone Crafts. I would love to see what you guys make. If you're interested in more mystery boxes, let me know in those comments down below. I absolutely want to make some more. They were really fun. I had such a good time choosing all of my favorite things to share with you guys. And next time we'll do some different things. I hope you guys had so much fun. If you have questions, let me know in those comments down below. I am just so excited to share all of these fun crafts with you guys. I hope you all have a wonderful day and happy crafting.